Should we expand that, Luis? I think we need to expand the theme song out, and I think it should be a full-length song.
I mean, after hearing your version of it right now, I think you should do your own cover.
It's catchy, bro. I like it. What's up, everybody? Thank you to everyone who's come out to shows recently around the country. I've had a lot of really great shows lately. Before you know it, I'm going to be on the Fully Loaded at Sea Comedy Festival, Burt Kreischer cruise ship, cruise-a-majig from Miami to the Bahamas. I'm so excited. That's coming up. And the only thing I'm bummed about is that since I'm going and doing that, I'm not going to be able to hang out with today's guest. He's doing a whole meetup in Texas. It's starting to turn into this legendary thing every year. And I'm going to miss that this year, but I'm going to go next year. Very excited to have this dude on the podcast. I met him at Memphis in May. He's one of the coolest guys, one of the best barbecue pitmasters that I've ever had the pleasure of eating their food, just because it's so different, man. He's just really mastered the open flame. I can't wait to talk all about that with him. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Make sure that you guys are subscribed, that you guys are rating these, that you're listening to them wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube. You're leaving comments. And also let me know who you want to have on as guests. I'm excited. I've had a lot of my friends on lately, and I'm going to have some people who haven't been on for a long time. But if there's specific people you want to hear, leave comments. Let me know. But in the meantime, guys, to today's episode, please meet Al Frugoni. Yeah, the sunglasses were a good move, dude. I like it. And I'm glad that you moved outside because now you get that cool backdrop at your cool compound. What? Oh, we're gonna improve it even more?
With more time, I would have a fire going, dude. But okay.
Well, we don't want to set the bar too high, and then every other episode I do, people are gonna look like they're gonna be shamed by this setup you did. Hey Al, I'm glad I finally got you on the podcast, man. I've been wanting to have you on for a long time, but Thanks, I know I'm busy, but you were busy, bro. You have so much cool stuff going on. I can't wait to get into it. I met you at Memphis in May, and really enjoyed two things. I enjoyed other than just the fact that you're a cool, fun guy. One is that you were doing something very different from everyone else. Everyone was doing, offset smokers, traditional, Memphis style. It's a very prestigious competition. The people have very traditional ways they go about things, and the judges are very particular. And you were doing your Argentine style, open pit, open flame cooking style. And we were going by your tent late night to grab grub and hang out and have drinks. And the food you were pumping out, I was like, this is the best rib I've put in my mouth all weekend. And so I like that you were different. And the other thing was that your son was there cooking with you. And lately my son's gotten really into cooking with me and doing events with me and stuff. So that really spoke to me as well. I thought that was cool that Luca was there cooking with you.
Yeah. No, it's that's one of my favorite things, cooking with Luca, because they're at that age, right? That they're too busy with girlfriends, with friends and doing stuff. So this is the thing that brings us together, right? So actually, if I don't cook with him or do events, it's like I don't see him. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I feel this way about my son, and I could tell from Luca and his buddy was there with him as well. They were actually an asset too. They were passionate about it. Yeah. They were good. They've had the practice and the skills, and they've cooked with you enough that they know what they're doing. Yeah,
no, they're very good. They've been cooking with me since they were 15. Now they're almost 20. So honestly, man, if I have to put a team together to cook with, I would take those boys every day of the week, man, because they know what they're doing. They know exactly what I'm doing, so exactly what we need. And also they're fun, right? Those two, they're fun to be with, right? It's like
they were definitely part of the party. They were having fun. My son's a little bit younger. He's my youngest son is 14, and he's my older son. My connection with him has always been kind of sports. That's our main thing. My younger son, he's liked cooking, and he's loved eating good food since he was a little kid. Other kids are like, they want chicken nuggets. My younger son's like, Dad, you gonna make that ribeye, or how about a brisket, or he loves tri-tip. So we've done a lot of events together recently. He's been like my right hand, and he's just like you're saying, man, he's actually useful. He's intuitive. He works hard. It's a pleasure. So I took him to that rub and tug with me. I already had my 3 teammates, but I brought him as an assistant or whatever. And part of that was because I saw you at Memphis MMA with Luca, and it was a little bit of an inspiration to me to go, why don't I just bring Owen? Like, you can just be a part of it,
Well, I have problems with Luca, right? Because I didn't take it. He's like, I'm going to Key West, and I was telling about the event. They say, "What the fuck, dude? Are you not taking me?" He said, "Oh, sorry."
Can't go to everything, dude.
Yeah.
So
But I think next year they want to come. I told, hey, talk to Burton. They always need help, man. And you can go and give a hand there.
yeah. Get a real job. So tell me a little bit about you're in Texas.
Yes.
Your roots are the Argentinian style, and now you've been in Texas. How long have you been in Texas for? And talk a little bit about the open fire cooking and that influence being in Texas.
Well, I grew up in Argentina, right? I'm from Argentina. I lived there for 40 years, and then I moved here. I've been here 8 years now. So growing in Argentina is like open fire is not like a choice, right? It's part of the culture. It's part of the Argentinian culture. Is what we do. Is how we socialize, right? It's so deep in the culture that it's not a choice. You just do it, right? It's because everybody do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does it. So I don't know if you're having a wedding, a baptism, somebody, I don't know, in a funeral, in a party, birthday, everybody's gonna make asado. Like, again, it's very deep in the culture. So that's how you grew up, right? You grew up going to your grandpa's to make asado, and then it's your father that makes asado, and eventually pass through you, and then you start making asados. Asado is the word for barbecue, right? So then you started with your friends, and that's it. And then when I moved to Texas, I started knowing a different world about smoking, and I got really obsessed with smoking, and I started I started learning about it, and I started experimenting, and then is when I created this fusion between Argentina, or let's say it's the south of South America,
Yeah.
style of cooking, and the American barbecue, right? And I think that's my style. It's like a fusion, because my style is not 100% Argentinian, and it's not, of course, it's not American barbecue, but it's like a fusion between both. I think most biggest barbecue cultures in the world, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to bring to the table, like a fusion between the two.
Well, it's funny too, because what you're saying, literally the style of cooking is, open fire. And I do think, you're talking about how it's the central of everything you guys do, everything from a wedding to a funeral. And at Memphis in May, it literally was that, because your cooking, device literally was like a fire pit. So everyone, there's all these parties going on, and we were all drawn to your tent to sit and see the different ways that the meat was being suspended over the fire. Some is on racks, some's hanging with hooks and chains, and literally it just was the perfect place to gather around the fire, watch the cook, actually eat amazing food, and smoke a cigar and drink a whiskey, and tell stories and hang out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what we when we thought about going to Memphis. I know a lot of people, so I at first I think, okay, I'm gonna put together a team that people with experience in barbecue competition, right? Because I know a lot of people. And then we thought, right? I thought, no, if we go there, we need to be what we are, right?
Authentic, to what you.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Let's stay authentic, what we do, and we were just a bunch of guys with cast irons and fire pits, and that's what we did, right? And I think we did pretty good on the results, but and I think people understood that, right? Like people like you coming to our tent. That's what we wanted to show people, not only compete, if not show in that world of Memphis, like, how we do it, how it's like, again, this is something obvious and a lot of people say it, but fire brings people together.
Yeah.
And it's true, right? Because as soon as you see a fire, you're going to go there, right? And yeah, so I think Memphis was a great experience. Actually, we walk, how you say it, we walk the stage
Yeah.
on, we got fourth in turkey smoke. So for us, it's like,
That's great.
it's huge.
Yeah. You walk on anything in Memphis in May, it's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. For the first time, and again, a bunch of gypsies with cast irons on fire.
Yeah.
But also we did like pretty good in other categories, like ancillaries. We did like fifth on seafood, and 9 on beef. We did pretty good, On the ribs, that they were the main thing, we didn't do very good because it's a different bite,
Yeah.
right? It's like in Memphis you have the judges on site and then you have the blind box, right?
Yeah.
On site we did pretty good. We did almost perfect score because we got the chance to explain the judges what we're doing and how difficult it is to get that bite cooking open fire in a rack, right? It's like if you're not enclosed that vapor, you know what I mean? It's like convection. It's like when you cook convection, it's easy to get that tenderness, right? But open fire is very difficult because again it's open, right? And but we got the chance to explain that. The judges gave us a good,
Yeah, the presentation's a big part of the cooking style of what you do. But I got to tell you, I mean, I know I've already told you this 1,000 times, that when we were just popping around, because there's so many people doing test ribs or just cooking for the people at their parties or for their team, just because their team needed to eat, whatever. So I ate a lot of ribs walking around that place. And that night we were sitting there having whiskeys at your tent. You popped those ribs off that fire and put a little chimichurri on pork ribs. And I took a bite out of it. I was like, dude, this is the best thing I've had in a long time. And I don't think the judges, when they're tasting boxes, it's not what they're used to. So it's a little out of the ordinary, but 100%, you got to be there and meet you and understand the story to understand why it's so special. But it was delicious, dude.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good, but it's not the judges are trained to, the certain way that you have to, to divide on the thinness, right? And it's very difficult to pull out that texture on open fire.
So then the seafood and the beef that you did well on, what did you cook for that?
No, we did like in beef we did empanadas, like the traditional beef empanada, and actually we were like 0.06 from perfect score.
Wow.
So that means that one of the judges gave us like 9.9 or something like that. And then on seafood, we did like a fusion, like a cream corn, like a Cajun cream corn,
Yum.
shrimp. And it was like I don't know, some crazy idea that we had, and then we put it on.
Good stuff. Well, chimichurri is a big part of the Argentinian culture and
Yes.
And everything. And you have your own line of chimichurri mix where it's dry and you just add some oil and some vinegar to it, and it makes amazing chimichurri. So that's been a big part of your process as well.
Yeah, the chimi. Yeah, the chimi was part of when I started posting, right? Like with COVID, I started posting, and then I started having all these followers. And then I told to my wife, this could be a business, right? And then we start selling grills, right? The ones that I have behind me. So that's why we started to do it. But then when we got all these followers, we said, okay, if we can sell $1,000 grill this year, $1,000 grills, $2,000, what if we have a $10 product? So then I decided to bottle this recipe that we created when I moved to Texas. When I remember, I told you I was like experimenting.
Yeah.
I started I started making my own rubs, right? But like doing like Latin flavors on the American barbecue. I started that, and then I thought about chimichurri, and I said, okay, what if I do a dry rub? So that's what I did, right? And then I did it, and it was pretty good. So I kept doing it for years. I kept doing the same recipe. At one time, I remember I did a lot, and then I didn't want to throw it away. So I said, what if I put vinegar and oil? And then I did that, and boom.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, this is good.
Yeah, it's so easy, man. And it's such a nice touch. Like if I'm at my house, I don't normally keep chimichurri. I love having chimichurri when I'm at a restaurant, but I don't normally do chimichurri at my house. But now, thanks to your product, if I'm doing a tri-tip or a ribeye or something and I want to snazz it up and dress it up, people are like, man, I just make that chimichurri real quick. And it's a huge hit, man. It's a huge hit.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like everybody says the same, right? Like people like, and again, you don't have to chop for 40 minutes and you never have all the ingredients, right? Fresh parsley lasts 2 days or maybe half an hour on the refrigerator. So you never had all the ingredients. And so this is pretty cool. It's ready. The flavor is there, right? The chimichurri. The ingredients are not difficult. The chimichurri is very simple, but the balance of each ingredient is the key, right? Yeah. Because chimichurri tastes like chimichurri. It doesn't taste like parsley or garlic or cilantro, oregano, right? It tastes like chimichurri. And to do that, you have to have the right level of each ingredient.
When I was growing up, now W sauce has kind of brought Worcestershire sauce back. Everyone really enjoys it. Yeah. But when I was a kid, my dad was a huge steak guy, right? That was one of my first introductions to like just being a beef guy, a barbecue guy. But my dad would drown everything in A1 steak sauce. My dad should have had stock in A1. My dad fell in love with my mom because they went on their second date and she brought a bottle of A1 sauce in her purse in case the restaurant didn't have it. And so that's what I grew up. I thought that to be a man, you were supposed to douse A1 sauce on everything. And so my buddy Harry, who's still one of my friends to this day, his father was Nicaraguan and he invited me over for steaks and he's asking me, do you like steak? I'm like, oh, we eat a lot of steak in my house. I'm a steak expert, whatever. And he made these, really nice, like, I don't remember what they were, either, Argentinian steaks or flank steaks or something. Right. And, churrasco, I don't remember what it was. But he was really proud of it. And we sat down at the table and I said, do you guys have any A1 sauce? And he dropped his knife and almost passed out. He was like, you better not touch that steak with any sauce. He's like, if you want sauce, use this. And he put some chimichurri in front of me and I go, it's green. I don't want to put vegetables on my steak. And he goes, no, it's not. Trust me, it's going to make it better. So I tried it and I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And that was my first introduction to chimichurri. I had no idea it was something that you did,
Yeah, no, chimi is good. It was created in Argentina and then it went its way up to all Latin America and now it's like worldwide.
Yeah. So you've got this awesome space in Texas now, and you're doing a ton of content. You have a bunch of really cool people that collaborate with you and everything, and you guys are doing neat videos with the slow motion flames and whatever, cooking great food. How did that process go for you? Was that something that was calculated? Was that something where you were just doing it for fun and realized people liked it? What was the progress of becoming someone who posts content?
Well, it was actually like I told you before, it was kind of necessity because I still have business in Argentina. That's what I do. I'm kind of an entrepreneur. When I moved to the States, I kept my businesses there. Actually, I was living from that money, and then Argentina started going to shit, right, economically, and then I started like another business that is like involved in both countries. I don't want to bore you with all the story, but when COVID hit, basically I was effed, like big time.
Yeah.
Not, like a lot of people, right? But I just finished a biggest investment of my life in a business. Actually, it's a trampoline park down in Argentina, and we opened December 2019.
Oh.
So that was very bad. So I was already talking to this guy, the Fuegos guy, right, the Fuegos grill before that, because I wanted to start like selling these grills here, right? I thought it was a good idea, but when COVID hit, and everything went to shit, right? And I was like zero income, and when you're an entrepreneur and you have your own job, it's very good, but when that happens and you have zero income, that things get complicated. So actually, I start posting. I talked to this guy that says, send me 2 grills. He sent me one of these and the other one, the Alamo, the one that is a wagon.
Yeah.
And we make a deal. We say, okay, I promote it there. We sell them. We split the money, whatever, right? And then I didn't have not even Facebook. I was one of those guys, that that when you ask it, hey, do you have social media or Facebook, and you get offended, like I don't use that. I was that guy, right? I didn't like have anything. But then I said, okay, I open a Instagram account and I start, making the videos. The owner of the brand has a big account down in Argentina, so I like his style. Uh, I like the idea of creating a business out of social media, right? So for me, being an entrepreneur, that like intrigued me a lot. So then I kind of start copying his style. I learned how to post, and then my daughter, that was 11 at that time, she said, "Dad, you should post on TikTok." And I was like, "What the fuck is TikTok?" Right? It's like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
TikTok. No, I don't know what it is, right? So then she opened and I start posting the same videos that I post in Instagram. I posted on TikTok, and then it's a boom, it blew up like right away. I think I got it at the right time. Again, my style, I started building that style of fusion between the two worlds, and I think nobody's doing it. Nobody did it before, and nobody's doing it. So I think that caught a lot of attention. It was the boom of TikTok. I was one of the first getting in. So, all the guys that got in first, we got a big boom. So yeah. And then when I start blowing up, I start like, okay, this could be a business, right? But again, when I started, I was like 47. So I don't know. I'm a 47-year-old TikToker. What the fuck? but then it's like, okay, right? If it's something that I can enjoy, because I really enjoy it, right? What I have that I didn't know is good skills on editing, right? Because a big part of my success is that my videos are cool, right? So I also like good music. I like 80s rock and roll, so I start putting all this music and mixing it with barbecue, and I think and then when I started blowing up, then I started looking at more like a business thing. Now we're here, right? Now we have products going. Now people invite me to cook in cool places, and I met thousands of cool people. So I'm extremely happy about it. Right? It's like the barbecue world is a good place to be.
Yeah, and then now it's evolved to where you just started a new project with a handful of other guys called Embers TV, and you're trying to take the next step in platforms for content.
Yes, this is a new project. One of my friends, Carlos Bradley, he put that together. He called a lot of influencers, YouTubers. He put the right people together to create this streaming service. It's like an app, like a Netflix of barbecue, that you download in your phone, in your TV, and then you can stream all barbecue, open fire, all kinds of barbecue content. And I'm glad that I'm part of it. I'm kind of like the open fire guy. We film that. It's like it's my episodes are coming in like every week, every other week. My new episodes, I got to film open fire masterclass. That for me, that's huge. It's something that I've been wanted to do for a long time, because in social media you have 1 minute to tell the story, to show the recipe, or to tell everybody, or to tell how you cook, right? So for the past 3-4 years, I've been having so many questions about, hey Al, why did you leave the membrane on? Why you do this? What charcoal do you use? Why firewood? Why? Like a lot of questions that honestly they are always the same 100 questions, always the same. So this masterclass give me the chance to go through all those questions and to respond everything. Each episode is going to be half an hour. So now with my first episode is a whole hog. It's on. So it's like 36 minutes. So I explain everything that happened, from the prep to the cook to what firewood to use. And I think it's pretty cool. The people that I watch it, they're very thankful. They're like, I think adds a lot of value. I think that's something that people, they can save it and have it there because you're gonna watch it, or like use it as a manual, something like that.
Yeah, well, it's how people consume TV now, anyways, right? Is they have to go to different services and and download it or stream it or whatever. And if you're putting all this awesome content in one place where there could be longer form stuff, I don't see why people wouldn't really dig that and be into it. I mean, especially when I was doing my deep dives during the pandemic, I literally could not get enough. I was watching old seasons of, Pitmasters and every barbecue competition show that only lasted one season. And I was just consuming all of it, and I ran out of stuff. So if there's one place you could go to watch all this cool shit, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you have, I'm probably the least cool guy there, because we have a lot of talented people, the mad scientists, Chad Barbecue, they're YouTubers, they specialize in offset smoking. Then you had Matt Rourke, Tone, TFTI, Carlos Badley, Marco is a wood fire and whiskey. But these are just the founders, but that everybody's going to have a masterclass. We have behind the scenes, we have the barbecue invite, we have a lot of content, but eventually we're going to have a lot more content, right? Content from all places, right? Like covering the barbecue competitions, invite other people to create their own series and bring it to Embers, right? We want Embers to be like you just said, the place where all the barbecue is, right? Everything, not just the guys that I just named. Everything that is happening in barbecue is going to be on Embers TV.
Yeah, and that's the way the world's going in general. In the comedy world, people aren't really pitching TV shows as much anymore. They're just figuring out how to make their own series on YouTube or do their movies independently. And if creators, we know everybody that's in the space, the people who are interesting, if they can come to you and go, hey, I have this idea for a show, there's so much less red tape to go, cool, let's make it, if it's something people will be interested in. I think that's awesome, man. I think it's going to be wildly successful.
Yeah, so we've been for 3 weeks open now, and we have we have more subscribers than we expect, but still is something that is going to grow with time. We need to explain, we need to educate all our followers, right? That they used to get stuff for free from us, right? We need to educate them what else they have there, Like in my case, it's all this information, right? All this detailed information about open fire, but also we have the same for smoking, and we have a lot of stuff that you can get online or maybe YouTube, right? And again, because it's a streaming service, you can pick whatever. Like Marcos always say, we are the algorithm here, right? So it's not going to show you whatever the algorithm wants. You can search whatever you want and watch whatever specifically you want.
Yeah, no, totally, man. Cool. I think it's a great idea. And in a couple weeks, you're gonna have a meetup at your place there in Texas, right? A big thing you do with a lot of your barbecue buddies.
Vamos, that's a highlight.
Let's go.
Vamos, la concha. Yeah, the Texas Open Fire meetup started 3 years ago with my friend. We thought about it with my friend Mel Schmiller from Canada.
Dark Side of the Grill. He gets brought up at least once every episode.
Yeah, I call him the Canadian hillbilly, but so we met in another event in Alabama, and he was freaking out about Alabama, how the culture, and how happy he was to new all these new places. And I said, dude, you have to come to Texas. So then, long story short, we did the first meetup with Mel, and we start calling people, hey, you want to come? And next, we have 25 to 30 influencers that came all around the country to cook. And we did it in I used to have a warehouse here in Bernie, and we did it there the first year. That was awesome. The TV, the local news came. That was pretty good. And we had a lot of, it was very big on social media, right? And then the next year we decided to do something, okay, we're having all this talent coming, we're cooking all this food, let's do something cool. So we partnered up with a charity, and we did a big event for the first responders here in my county in Texas. All the money we raised, we went to the first responders. So, and everybody came, the sheriff, everyone, and we cook. We did the same, but for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. And this year we're gonna do the same, but this time it's gonna be even better because the Medina County, that is the county right next to us, they're actually organizing. We're doing it in a big ranch in Hondo, Texas. Because they're organizing, we just have to take care of the food. But it's gonna be great because the tickets are gonna be like $20. They're gonna get a bracelet, and it has everything you can eat, and it's probably the I don't know, the best deal that on barbecue in the history of barbecue, because we're gonna cook a whole steer, alligator, big, super skewers coming from Oregon is doing alligator. Mel is gonna do whole hogs. We're gonna do, the guys from South Texas are gonna do cabritos. We're gonna do a whole steer. Texas barbecue. The Embers TV guys are coming. Pork belly, you name it. We have like 10 different proteins, all cooked by all these talented people, just for $20. So that's ridiculous.
So
if you're
walk me through cooking the whole steer.
Okay, we did that last year. I have a friend in the valley, in the Texas Valley, that he builds crosses, like the Argentinian style of cross that you put it there, right? So he built those for whole hogs or cabritos. So when we thought about making the whole steer, I called Javi and said, "Dude, can you build me a cross for a whole steer?"
You're gonna crucify a cow.
Exactly. So so we talked. We had a lot of video calls, and he's a great welder. So he actually built a big cross, and then we got the guy that this year event, David Jones, the owner of the ranch of this year's event. He donated last year the steer. It was 500 pounds. We picked it up for the ranch. We put it in a trailer with a lot of ice, and then we took it. We opened it. We have to break the spine.
Yeah.
Butterfly it, and then we were like, I don't know, 10 guys. We put it on top of the cross, and then exactly. Yes, like that. Open and then you cook it, open fire, and that cross goes up and down. It flips and also rotates. So it's that was a pretty good experience. And we nailed it.
And then do you rub? You just rub? You inject it? You just rub down the outside?
No, we use an Argentinian technique that is called salmuera. Salmuera is basically a wet rub. It's more like it's more like a brine, right? It's like basically water and 10% of salt, and then you can add like rosemary, pepper, garlic, and it's like liquid, and you apply that every like 15 to 20 minutes, maybe half an hour to the cook. And because it's water, right, and it has to be warm, and then you apply it, and not only season the meat, if not, it also helps to
moisturize.
Moisturize and also relieve. Open fire is more aggressive on the meat than normal smoking, right? That's why we always need to use fat, membrane, bone. We in open fire we need all that because the fire is more aggressive, right? So if you're gonna put a rub, probably you're gonna burn that, right? Eventually it's gonna burn and it's gonna look black. Nothing wrong with that. I like burn stuff, but it doesn't look good for a video or for an event. Doesn't
presentation.
Look good. Presentation. So we put like and people, a lot of the guys, when I was doing that, they were like there's no way you're gonna season that with that. You can't season that, and everybody at the end they were like freaking out, like, damn, this works.
And then how long does that take normally?
Well, depends on the size of the steer, but that 500 pounder, it took us 22 hours. But it's ways. There's ways that you can take less. If you like butterfly the hams, let's say, well, it's not a ham yet, but the legs. If you like butterfly it and leave it open, because that's the main thing that you have to cook, right? The shoulders and the legs, right?
The thick part, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you pull it off of the fire, do you does it pull apart, or do you cut it like a steak still, or like you suction it out?
It doesn't pull it out. When you cook whole animals, happens the same with pig or any whole animal. You're not gonna taste the different cuts, right? You're not gonna, let's say, when a whole pig it almost tastes the same. You're gonna change a little bit the texture, but it all tastes the same. So it's happened the same deal. Of course, all the spine and on the rib meat is gonna be more tender than the legs, but it basically tastes everything the same. And to be completely honest, is the better way to cook a steer is like cut by cut, right? And cook the different cuts how they're supposed to be cooked.
Sure.
That's the best experience you
but
can
not
have.
as much fun.
Exactly.
And then on the third day, did the steer rise again?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But no, but the Texas Open Fire meetup is all about that. It's all about sharing an experience, sharing a bunch of guys and girls that we share the same passion, be together, kind of like we did it on Memphis, right? It's all like that for a whole weekend, right?
Yeah.
Everybody shooting content. If you want to cook. If you don't want to cook, don't cook. If you want to get drunk, get drunk. It's like
both.
Everybody is like nobody's making money. It's not, a lot of these guys come in. They're used to get paid to go places. Here they all come by their own way, and it's more about camaraderie. That's a difficult word.
Camaraderie. Yeah.
Camaraderie. Fuck. No hablo inglés, motherfucker.
You did great. That was it. No, you nailed it. Camaraderie.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, man, I'm going to be on a cruise ship that week doing this gig with a bunch of other comics. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm doing the same idea, but it's going to be comics on a cruise ship, but it's all about the camaraderie and the fans and being there for the fans and everything. But next year, man, give me a heads up because I definitely want to come to that. I now that you're talking about it, I remember Mel telling me when he was going to the first one, and he was like, yo, I'm going to go to Texas and cook with some friends. And he's like, you should come. Yeah. And I was like, man, I just had so many tour dates back then. I couldn't do it, but
everybody's invited. If you're a creator and you're into barbecue, you're welcome to come. It's always a place for one more. And if you're in the San Antonio area, Austin, South Texas, you should come because it's gonna be a hell of an experience.
Yeah,
you're gonna eat like never before for $20. So that's really.
Well, whether it's that weekend or some other time, we should do a comedy show at your space there. That looks like it'd be a fun place to set up some chairs and try to do some comedy slash barbecue. I always try to find ways to combine the two, and just looking behind you, that looks like a cool place to do it.
Yeah, here is a cool place, man. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but this is Comfort, Texas. So.
Well, people will show up. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, we're like 1 hour away from San Antonio here, right? In my place.
Yeah. So before we get too far off the subject, the Embers TV, people can go to their app store and download the app, and that's the best way for them to subscribe?
Exactly. Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
And then same thing on their smart TV. Then they go to the smart TV and they go watch the shows.
Yeah, exactly. iPad, you can go there, do it monthly or do it yearly. Either choice. Yeah. And you can check it out. Like every week, new content is coming, right? That's another thing, right? That is like every week, like more content, more serious, more stuff is coming every time. So you never get bored, right?
And then what about those the open fire grills? Is there somewhere specific people can go to get those to get a?
Yeah, I have it. That's a Focus TX. Focus TX, or you can go to my website. I sell them there too. I love these open fire grills. Open fire is not a way of cooking; it's a way of life.
Yeah,
like I say in my slogan. But if you're if you wanna expand your cooking game to open fire, you can. Yeah, these grills are pretty cool.
Well, in Los Angeles, we don't have a lot of space, and I already have a lot of smokers and grills and pizza ovens in my yard. And I'm thinking I might need to clear out some room and get me one of those bad boys because I think Yeah,
well, that's very funny that you said that because like 99% of people that buy our grills are like you just said, right? It's people that already own 5-6 grills and they want to expand, an open fire. Or if it's Argentinian or Uruguayan, probably that's the first grill they're gonna buy. But if not, it's like I said, like open fire is it's not gonna replace the traditional smoking, right?
Yeah.
It's something that you can do on top of that. It's like I have my smoker right there. I just use it. I use it like 2 days ago, and I'm using it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's more about expanding your grill and not to replace it, right?
Yeah, that's what my wife tells me. I have to get rid of a smoker if I'm gonna get a new one. So I'm gonna play this clip for her. Actually, we're gonna call her right now. If you don't mind telling my wife.
Exactly.
This is what Al says.
Well, you know what? I had the same situation, exactly the same situation. You want a new grill? Get rid of one. But then down when it started, like it became a business. Like okay,
Yeah,
now it's a business. So
now you have a whole separate property for all your. That's where I gotta get.
No, she kicked me out.
Well, what else you got? Anything else coming up you want to plug out?
No, man. Like I don't think so. I'm cooking all around, right? I'm trying to take advantage of every invite I have. Like I'm gonna be next week in Dallas, cooking on the Q Fest, Q Barbecue Fest. I'm gonna be there in Royal Oak in Atlanta. Then I'm gonna go in Pennsylvania with the Brio guys. It's gonna be like crazy. And then it's my event, and then we're traveling in November to Argentina for that. That's going to be for Embers. It's going to be my second show in Embers. It's going to call like Firestorm Argentina. So we're going to shoot like 8 episodes about Argentina, the barbecue culture, the gaucho culture, the meat, the asado. So that's pretty cool.
And so do you have like one specific production company, like Embers has its own production company that is shooting all this stuff, or are you guys doing it on an individual basis?
No. They shoot everything.
So you guys have the team put together. And
they have like 2 crews.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's like, this is just to start, right? Then we're going to expand a lot more.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Well, I highly suggest everybody, first and foremost, goes and buys a bottle of your chimichurri. There's 2 different SKUs. One's got a little heat to it. One's the traditional chimichurri. And then definitely go to Embers, subscribe, and then make sure you're following Al on all the social medias at Al Frugoni. That's Frugoni. And he's really big on TikTok. 47-year-old TikToker.
Hey, it's pronounced Frugoni.
Frugoni. All right. At Al Frugoni. Make sure that you guys are following.
Very good, my friend. Very good.
I love it, brother. That's great, man. Well, I'm gonna have you on again, man. I want to have you on after the meetup, and I want to hear all about it. And then I'm gonna come to Texas and cook with you sooner rather than later.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Always a pleasure. And I hope we cook together soon, man.
100%.
We sit around the fire with a cigar and a whiskey.
Well, we'll definitely be in Key West at the Rub and Tug next year, but I hope it happens before that for sure.
Yes, it will, man. Thanks for having me again.
You're the man, Al. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I love you, man. Later.